Kia ora everyone, you're back on the Empire, home of the NZ Blokes. I'm your resident tech and gaming guy Dave, and we're here to take a look at 2018's Game of the Year, PlayStation and Santa Monica Studios exclusive God of War, which is soon to be available on the PC. Now this review is for the PC release, available on the 15th of January 2022. Sony have provided us with a review code for the game, but any and all thoughts on this are my own. All footage is from the first chapter to avoid spoilers if you've not already played the game. Now, Sony Interactive Entertainment has been doing a bit of a run by releasing several of their exclusive games onto the PC in the last 12 months. We've seen Days Gone, Death Stranding, Horizon Zero Dawn, and now God of War, which is arguably the longest running exclusive franchise from PlayStation to ever see the light of day on a new platform. So, how does God of War translate across to the PC from its console roots? Well, opening up the game and taking a look at the settings options for your display and graphical settings, you can see that this is more than a simple port of the PlayStation version of the game. It includes new features such as NVIDIA DLSS and low latency modes. It includes AMD Infinity FX, and you can adjust the manual render scaling if you want to be able to adjust how your display renders the resolution to give you an optimized frame rate. These are not the only things that are new to this release of the game. You can also adjust your frame rate, so you could include unlocking it altogether if you do have some grunty hardware to be able to support high frame rates. Now, I will say this, at my monitor's native 1440p, I was able to achieve about 105-ish frames per second with all of the graphics settings maxed out, and by setting my display resolution to 4K, I could get a V-synced 60 frames per second, and they both looked pretty bloody fantastic. Now, moving over to the graphics tabs, you can also set individual parameters for a number of effects, including an original preset which will match the PlayStation 4 graphics quality settings for the game. Now, that actually still holds up pretty well from a modern visual perspective. But of course, there are new graphical capabilities which have been added into this release, including higher resolution shadows, an enhanced screen space directional occlusion, and support for ultra wide resolutions if you really want to push things. From a controls perspective, you can of course use the PlayStation 4 controller, but you can also use an Xbox controller. It has full mapping and icons for those, and it does full mouse and keyboard support. So all in all, it's great to see these features and enhancements being made available as part of this game's migration to the PC, and for me it really enhances the base game. Now, on to the game itself. When God of War was released in 2018, I absolutely raved about it. The game itself follows Kratos, the titular God of War, some years after his Greek trials had come to an end. He is now in the land of Midgard, and together with his son Atreus, they must face a new trial in the wild world of the Norse gods. It remains a deep, fascinating, exciting, enthralling, heart-pounding action-adventure game. And a game which, if you have not already experienced due to its exclusivity, you should absolutely put this one on your playlist. Now, I'm not going to go into any of the specifics, as I believe that this game's main strength is its story and how it unfolds over the course of the 25 to 30 hours that my playthrough took. I am happy to be able to tell you that even though this isn't my first playthrough of the game, there were still moments that felt new and fresh to me when I was playing. It would appear that a little over 3.5 years is long enough to forget a lot of details of a game. But of course, all of the big bits were very memorable as I ventured through the realm that God of War is set in. When I reviewed this game originally, I scored it a 10 out of 10, and I said that it was a staggeringly beautiful game, and one that continuously surprised me, made my jaw drop, and a remarkable journey that rewards you at every step of the way. I find myself, 3 and a bit years later, drawing the same conclusion from this PC release. God of War on the PC is undeniably the best possible version of this game that could exist. Its story remains deep, compelling, and truly fantastic as it unwinds before you. Meaningfully enhanced graphical and display settings and unlocked frame rates mean that you can really push this game to the limits of your rig, and PC gamers of all levels will be able to find the right settings that work for their machine and display a beautiful game doing so. Santa Monica Studios made one of the best PlayStation 4 games of all time when they released God of War. And for me, the most significant limitation of the game was that it couldn't be enjoyed unless you had a PlayStation. By removing this limiting factor and adding in meaningful enhancements designed for PC gamers, they have expanded this game's audience in the best possible way. This game remains a 10 out of 10 for me, and I am so glad that it's made the jump to the PC community. As always, thanks very much for checking out this review. If you're new to the channel, please do take a moment to subscribe and hit that notification bell to get future updates from us here at the Empire. Feel free to stick around and check out some of our other videos that we have on the site as well. We have cars, food, webisodes, bushcraft and hunting, and other tech and gaming videos for you to enjoy from our little corner of the world. If, however, this is the end of your time with us here at the Empire, then thank you so much for stopping by. I have been your resident tech and gaming guy, Dave, and I will see you